Welcome back to Trash Panda Off-Road. Today we're going to put a spacer lift on the X-90 and then see if we can fit some 235s under it. You guys remember I bought the 89 parts rig to fix back the 94 that has since had a head gasket go out. But it came with a 2-inch spacer lift on it. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off of there and put that spacer lift on this rig. Then I'm going to try to go from these little, what are they, like 215s? 205s. I'm going to try to go from the 205s to a 235. If that doesn't work, I also have a set of 225s. Getting ready to unbolt these shocks and pull them off so I can get this spacer out. Check it out. They're like an air shock. I wonder if the other one's got the full thing. But let's see. Yeah, there's a big connection right here. So you hook that up and put air in them. It's an air shock. Interesting. Guess that's air ride. Not using those. Well, they could stay on this rig. But I got to unbolt them in order to take that spacer out. Then I'll put it back together. Then I already popped that spacer out because it was no big deal. And then I will undo that strut. And I think I'm just going to take the whole strut and put it in that rig. And I'm not going to use camber bolts. This will be the first time ever, I think. I'm going to try to slot these. Say to slot them about 1/4 inch. And then you can push it back and crank them down tight. So we're going to try that. So I put the 235s under there. And it looks pretty cool. I don't know that they're going to fit in the front because, I mean, we're almost rubbing already, and those are only a 205. And I want to put the 235s up there. I don't know. We'll take a look and see. I did the back first because it's a little easier. Now we'll go ahead and do the front and see if we can put 235s on the front. I'm sure I can put them on there. I just don't know if I could still steer and drive and all that good stuff. So I have some wheel spacers, but I don't want to use them. They're pretty big. They're like 1.5 inches. So, well, let's go ahead and tear the front end apart, get it lifted up, and get the other spacers in. Got the front spacer in. Got the strut in. I went ahead, like I said earlier, I notched this strut. So now that the key is you put this bolt in, and instead of it being here, now you can back it up to here. Same thing as a camber bolt would do. So you just do, I don't know if that's a 1/2 or 1/4. Anyways, this is where it usually is. This is where you want it to be. So I went ahead and did that. Now we're going to put this thing back together again. And we will see if we can fit a 235 in the front. I'm worried about it hitting right here. So, and we'll find out. Got the other section there, got the front end. See that little itty bitty gap there? I don't know if that's gonna work. Let's start the car up and turn the wheel and see what happens. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. It's hitting right in there, right on that inner lip. I might be able to trim that out and make these fit, but man, I don't know. That's really close. Here is the 225. It fits right in there just fine. It turns, you can use it. It fits in there. So, 225, 75, 15 fits in the front without having to cut anything. Taking a look at this thing, you can see those 235s look way better than the 225s. They fill the wheel well out a little better, but unfortunately you can't turn in the front. So I may trim that down to get those 235s on, but unfortunately, you guys follow along on Instagram, you already know these 235s came off of the Samurai. And the reason they came off the Samurai is I can't get them to hold any air. Hey, I bumped that one up before I put it on there a couple hours ago. It's already flat, so we're gonna run the 225s and see about getting the 235s fixed and putting those under there and doing some trimming and going from there. So it looks like in order to get to the strut on this one, I got to take all this stuff here off and peel it back and move it out of the way. And it's getting to be late. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day here. We'll put that other strut in tomorrow, put the lift on that side. I really want to run the 235s, so if that one's flat tomorrow, we'll take it off, take it down to the tire shop, see if we can get it fixed, whatever's wrong with it. And we will look into trimming that back section so as that we can run those 235s. The 235s in the back look way better than the 225s in the front. Part of that is back spacing. Those ones are pulled out an inch, maybe an inch and a half. Those ones are tucked in there a bit further. Part of it also is just how tall it is. It looks like one of those Chevy trucks, you know, when you've got a Chevy truck, it's got huge giant wheel wells and you put a lift under it and you get all this room. So even though the 235 look better, I don't want to cut this thing up and squeeze them under here yet. I may at another time, but not yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go have these tires here switched onto these rims, because these BFGs, they were the ones underneath the Samurai, and they're just bad. They're not really usable. I mean, I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but all of this here is cracked. Cracked. This one here won't even hold any air anymore, and it's got a big line right here. It's got two big tears right there. It's got a big crack right there, and this, and then another crack right there, and a big crack right there. Open that up a little for you guys to see. Yeah. Oh wow, that's really bad. Look at all that. Yeah, so those are just not safe to put under a car that I use every day to go back and forth to work. So I'm gonna go ahead, just spend the money, switch the Hancocks onto these rims. I like these rims. Don't care for these factory rims anyway. Well, the answer to the question we set out to answer: how big a tire can you fit on an X-90 with a 2-inch spacer lift? Like anything else, it depends. If you're willing to do a little bit of cutting and modifications, a 235. If you want to keep it without cutting the body up, 225. So go ahead. Now you can go all out and order your spacer lift and your 225s. We'll flood the world with X-90s if you can find any. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate the support. Hope you enjoyed the video. Comments down below. You know, we're doing a good job making a little community. I appreciate everybody's input. Hopefully we can find some more X-90 owners out there. And follow along. Trash Panda Off-Road on Instagram. I do daily updates.